Unit 5, Reading 1.
The West seemed like a huge, empty area with new land and resources. Some people dreamed of finding gold or silver in the West. In 1803, France needed money to pay for wars in Europe, so France sold its land claim on the Mississippi and Missouri rivers. The U.S. government under Thomas Jefferson bought this claim in the Louisiana Purchase and sent explorers in the Lewis and Clark expedition from 1803 to 1806. However, this was not empty land. Many Native Americans lived there, but more and more people in the U.S. believed that America should own all of the land west of the Pacific Ocean. This idea was called manifest destiny. In the South, there were conflicts on the border with Spanish Florida. Slaves sometimes escaped from the U.S. to Florida. Several small conflicts were fought against the Seminole Indians and former slaves who lived there. Armed American settlers and the U.S. Army soon moved into northern Florida. Spain wanted to avoid more conflict over this weakly held colony and agreed in 1819 to give up Florida for a payment. To the southwest, Mexico had invited Americans to build farms in the province of Texas, but these settlers began to dislike living under Mexican rule. For instance, Mexico did not allow slavery, and the Mexican government was not stable. A Mexican Civil War began, and in 1835, American settlers in Texas soon rebelled in the Texas Revolution. In 1845, the independent Republic of Texas joined the U.S. in the Texas annexation. Border disagreements with Mexico soon led to the Mexican-American War from 1846 to 1848. This U.S. victory added huge new lands, such as California and Arizona. Many Native Americans lived across these giant areas, and new conflicts began between settlers and natives. Some Indians in the eastern U.S. tried to change their way of life to fit in. For instance, the Cherokee Indians became Christians, built modern farms, printed a Cherokee language newspaper, and even had slavery. Unfortunately, whites were hungry for land. In 1830, the U.S. government passed a law, the Indian Removal Act, to deport southeastern Indians farther west to land beyond the Mississippi River. By 1838, the Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, and other groups were forced to move hundreds of miles west over 5 months. More than 4,000 Cherokee and thousands of other Indians died on this cold and difficult trip, called the Trail of Tears.